From Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2405, this is Ham Nation Headlines for Wednesday, December 6, 2023. In New York, a raging fire swept through the last remaining laboratory of Nikola Tesla, where a massive redevelopment began 3 years ago to create a science center and a hub of amateur radio activity and education.
The historically significant laboratory building itself, set on a 15-acre site on Long Island, sustained damages of at least $3 million from the November 21st fire. A worldwide fundraising effort on Indiegogo has begun for the lab, which the Serbian-born scientist used in the early 1900s. This fundraising is separate from the already $20 million raised for the renovation, an effort that is still $6 million short of its goal. Amateur Radio Club N2 TSC will be housed in the Visitor Center, a different building from the devastated lab. Ed Wilson, N2XDD, the club's president, told Newsline that the Visitor Center was not damaged by the blaze, which drew the response of more than 100 volunteer firefighters from the surrounding community. Plans continue to go forward for the site's overall redevelopment as an educational and community resource, but it's not clear how far back the original opening date of late 2025 will be delayed. I'm Kevin Trotman, N5PRE.
Authorities have ruled out arson and are still investigating the case. In Washington, D.C., the FCC has received a document from SpaceX in which the company gives assurances that its cellular Starlink system does not pose a hazard to other radio signals.
Responding to an FCC request for details about radio interference hazards posed by its Starlink system, the company has submitted a 16-page document to the agency explaining why ground-based and satellite services will not face interference from its operation. The FCC had requested the detailed analysis. SpaceX said that its direct-to-cell system uses software that prevents radio interference, and in any case, transmissions can also still be individually turned off if it occurs. The Starlink system of satellites has been compared to cellular towers in orbit. T-Mobile is its first partner in the venture and will be using frequencies between 1.91 GHz and 1.995 GHz for customers' transmissions. Questions about interference have been raised before. An Australia-based astronomy team recently published a study that they say links unintended emissions from the SpaceX array of satellites to interference with the low-frequency VHF radio antennas used to study the universe. I'm Selembi, KB3 TZD.
It may be December, but it's not too early to start thinking about July, because that means Youth on the Air Camp. This year, the young amateurs are headed to Nova Scotia, Canada.
Even though the temperatures are dropping and snow has already fallen in some parts of the world, young radio amateurs in North, Central, and South America are getting ready for warmer days ahead at Youth on the Air Camp. It's taking place July 7th through the 12th at the Mount St. Vincent University campus in Halifax, Nova Scotia. The camp is being hosted by Radio Amateurs of Canada. The application period is now open. Licensed amateurs between the ages of 15 and 25 are being encouraged to complete the application form online by the 15th of January. It can be found on youthontheair.org. As many as 50 campers will be accepted. Because COVID is still a concern, organizers will be monitoring changes in guidelines for masking and vaccinations. For details about cost, travel arrangements, and other details, visit the Youth on the Air Camp website or contact Camp Director Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, at director@youthontheair.org. This is Jack Parker, W8ISH.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news since 1976 at arnewsline.org. With Kevin Trotman, N5PRE, Selembi, KB3TZD, Jack Parker, W8ISH, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe, I'm Don Wellbanks, AE5DW. 7-3. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.